Hello, and thank you for joining us for this encore presentation of one of Viking's most special itineraries. Our friends at Cruise Travel Outlet look forward to building the trip of your dreams. And at Viking, we look forward to welcoming you on board. Enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining Traveling Virtually with Viking. Before we get started, I just wanted to thank our travel advisors for inviting you to attend this presentation today. Additionally, if you have questions during the presentation, please feel free to use that Q&A or chat box. We'll be answering questions during and after the presentation. And now I'd like to welcome Matthew Zion, Director of Business Development for Viking Cruises. Matthew joined Viking about 3 years ago, so he brings us a wealth of knowledge on both products and procedures. Let's welcome Matthew as we discover empires of the Mediterranean. Matthew?
Michael, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Good morning. As Michael said, my name is Matthew Zion, Director of Business Development with Viking. Today, I have the true pleasure of letting you experience the empires of the Mediterranean. This beautiful 10-day itinerary will traverse from Venice all the way down to Athens, really visiting that Dalmatian Coast, Croatia. It's a beautiful itinerary, and I can't think of anything better to do on a Tuesday morning. As always, if you have questions, feel free to use that chat feature. Michael will answer questions as we go along. I'm happy to answer questions at the end. But better yet, if you want more information, if you want to look at availability and pricing, please reach out to that advisor who referred you. I promise there'll be a wealth of information. No passports necessary today. You don't even need to pack your bags, but let's dive in to Empires of the Med. Just to give you a little background about Viking, we're privately owned and operated. We're based in Woodland Hills, California. Torstein Hagen is the name of our chairman and founder. He is extremely involved in our entire process. We started on the waterways of Russia, of all places, and we've grown to become the largest river cruise line in the world. We're probably best known for those river sailings all throughout Europe. In 2015, we launched our ocean division, and we very quickly have grown into the largest small ship ocean cruise line in the world with 7 vessels in our fleet, 5 more that are on order. And the past 5 years, we have been ranked as the world's best ocean cruise line, something we're very proud of. We're continuing to grow. In 2022, we're launching Expedition, which will traverse from the Arctic to Antarctica, as well as the 5 Great Lakes. And our first truly domestic product, Viking Mississippi, also launching in 2022, which starts up in St. Paul, and it'll work its way all the way down to the Big Easy, New Orleans, Louisiana. The philosophy with Viking has never changed. We've never really veered too far from this since our inception in 1997. We are not trying to be everything to everyone. We focus on English-speaking audiences and more mature couples. Our average age range on board is about 55 plus. Now, not to say you're not going to find younger people on board. Of course you will, but you'll never find children. 18 is our minimum age, so we do not cater to children or families. We're destination oriented. We really took everything that we've learned from river sailing and applied it to ocean sailing. So this is a completely different experience than anything you may have experienced on other cruise lines. We try to spend as much time in each port of call as possible. We'll even overnight in port where we're able. We offer a very inclusive product. I'll review a little bit later what's included and what's not. I don't want there to be any surprises at all. We do not believe in nickel and diming. We run very efficient operations as well as the build out of these iconic award-winning vessels. We pass those savings along to our guests. And I do think we hire the best staff in the cruise industry. We're really treated like a family. Since we're privately owned, we have the highest retention rate in the industry. Our staff returns to us 90% year over year. Now, let's take a look at this beautiful itinerary, Empires of the Mediterranean, traveling through, I think, some of the most picturesque areas in the world. It's a 10-day itinerary. You have a guided tour at each port of call that we visit, traversing from Venice to Athens, or vice versa, Athens to Venice. 5 different countries, visiting Italy, Slovenia, Croatia, Montenegro, and spending quite a bit of time in Greece. This will give you a beautiful overview of this port of call. You can see each of the countries that we visit, each of the destinations denoted by a black dot there. And what I love about this itinerary is we overnight in Athens too. So you are getting quite a bit of time in this ancient Greek city. Now for our virtual tour, let's start in the north. Let's start in Venice. We'll work our way all the way down to Athens. Venice is, for lack of a better word, it's simply magical. It is one of the few cities that I've experienced where the postcard lives up to the actual destination. I was apprehensive before visiting Venice, to be completely honest, because I've heard so many different reviews. It's sinking and it smells and it's crowded. I experienced none of that. I found it truly remarkable. It's renowned for its art, architecture, culture. It's special. There's nothing like it anywhere in the world. A beautiful archipelago of islands. We remain docked here on day one. So you really do get some ample time to explore the city. I think this is one of those cities, if you are able to come in early or stay later in Venice, there's many things to see and do. You can certainly spend a couple of days here. So again, reach out to your advisor on some of those pre-post extensions. My personal preference is to do a pre-extension. I'd love to come in a couple of days early, especially when we're traveling this far away from home. You can kind of get adjusted to the time zone, get settled, you can explore the city, and then board the ship. So if you have that ability, I find it well worth it. I'll go over some of the pre and post options a little bit later for you as well. I think a biggie in Venice is, of course, taking the very distinctive gondola ride. I mean, it's very cliche, but if you're in Venice, it's something you simply have to do. It's that timeless symbol of this beautiful city, as is St. Mark's Square. This is really kind of the heart of Venice. You can really experience the stunning waters and explore this legendary square here. The island of Murano is just kind of on the outskirts of Venice. It's nicknamed the Island of the Flames. If you have the ability to take a boat here, I recommend it. This is where all of Venice's glassmaking was moved in 1291 to reduce the risk of fires in the city, because the city had burned down multiple times. Or you can visit Burano, a charming island. It's got those brightly colored houses. You can learn about Venice's lace-making industry and stroll along the quaint cobblestone streets on the island of Burano. Lots of shopping opportunities all throughout Venice. Unbelievable Italian fashion. My German-American body would not fit in any of it, but definitely want to take some time to stroll, get lost in Venice. It is a beautiful way to start our adventure. Day two, we'll enter into Slovenia. This is kind of just northeast of Venice. Beautiful Slovenian port of Koper. It is the gateway to this unspoiled region. The tour is an included tour. It visits the historic city. You can see the architectural legacy of that Venetian Republic. So it really has nods to Venice here. And again, we're not that far distance-wise. In Tito Square, you could admire the Venetian Gothic Palace, where lively town debates once took place. Take the time to ascend to the tower of the Cathedral of the Assumption, the splendid views of the city and the Gulf. Really quaint little town. Day three, we enter into Croatia. So getting into that Dalmatian coast, you can explore the remarkable Zadar, once an island separated from the mainland by a deep moat. This is the capital of the independent Dalmatia for a millennium, and Zadar's impressive city walls really attest to that might. I mentioned at the beginning, we have an included tour at every single port of call. I really believe we do a phenomenal job with this. These tours are local guides. It is not somebody from the ship. It's not somebody from the United States. It provides you with a completely different perspective. These people are typically born and raised in that region that you're visiting. Small groups, about 20 to 30 people. If it's a small port, for instance, here in Zadar, it's a walking tour. So we're typically steps away from everything that you might want to see or do. We'll always have a group that does go at a slower pace if necessary. Now, there's optional tours above and beyond the included tours, and I'm going to kind of go over a few of those in each of the different ports that we visit today as well. When you're signing up for your excursions, they'll always be labeled as far as easy, moderate, or demanding. So you'll know that ability level prior to signing up. Now, here in Croatia, the included tour is a walking tour, and they'll lead you along the maze of cobblestone streets all the way through the magnificent old town here. It's a remarkable collection of those red-roofed medieval stone houses, very picturesque. During your tour, you've got time. You can really stop and admire the different sites. You'll see the 3 stunning churches in bold Romanesque, or perhaps stroll the Riva. It's a picturesque seafront promenade where I think this is a really neat installation. They have these acoustical tubes that are embedded beneath large marble steps. And as the waves hit these tubes, it sings songs of the city with every wave that hits. Something you definitely want to see when you're visiting. And whether you do that through Viking or whether you kind of stroll over to the seaside area on your own, it's very, very easy to do here in Zadar. Day 4, Dubrovnik, Croatia, one of my favorites. This is where the city meets coastline. You'll sail to this beautiful 12th century walled city in Croatia, and it may look quite familiar to you if you are a Game of Thrones fan. This is a biggie. This was used for filming. It's actually King's Landing from Game of Thrones. George Bernard Shaw once declared, I'm going to quote here, "Those who seek paradise on earth should come to Dubrovnik." We have an entire day here to really take that inclusive tour, take in these magnificent views of the city and the countryside and the beautiful walled city of Dubrovnik. Then, as we enter the city on foot, the included tour will walk through the historic Pile Gate. We'll pass the Sponza Palace. It's a 15th century palace, beautiful fountain. You can stop inside the Dominican monastery and see the Renaissance paintings there in the monastery. You may want to consider an optional tour of the famed Dubrovnik Riviera with a cruise along the peninsula. We have an optional excursion that goes above and beyond the included. The activity level for this optional is moderate. It's about 7.5 hours long, so it's almost a full day tour, but it's the flavors and traditions of old Croatia. So there's a meal that's included, shopping, sightseeing. We'll hit the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. We really kind of do that overview of Croatia, but then we go deeper. We take a scenic drive that leads you into a local village. You can explore an ancient house, witness its horse-driven olive oil mills, taste the homemade cheese, smoked ham, wine. You always have me with a food tour, to be perfectly honest. I think it's always a winner. You can see how flour is still produced using the old water-powered stone mill. And then this optional tour gives you a little bit of that local life, Viking way of exploration. We meet a local family in their village home. They've lived here for generations. They've produced great brandy, olive oil, and wine from old family recipes. You can sample the homemade wine. You can enjoy kind of the typical Dalmatian music performed by a group of local musicians. And then you've got some time to go shopping before you return back to the ship. It is a phenomenal optional excursion and one I would definitely recommend. Day 5, Kotor, Montenegro. We spend the day traversing the medieval streets of the historic town with a walking tour. We pass by the Venetian walls that were constructed in 1420 en route to the cathedral, which is built in 1166. It is absolutely stunning. You can tell we're kind of getting further into the south. The included tour is a walking tour that will really hit all of the charms of this medieval city, which is an UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's nestled between limestone cliffs and a bay. I think this image really shows that much better. It's a short walk with your guide. It is cobblestone streets, so you want to make sure that you've got some good walking shoes, especially almost on every single itinerary that we visit here. You've got those cobblestones, so make sure that you are not so fashion conscious and a little bit more comfortable. In the main square, you can admire the Venetian walls that surround the city. It was constructed in 1420. They've been reinforced all throughout the century. They stand very well preserved today. You can still see the walls of the city all throughout. It's a remarkable city. We also visit the Maritime Museum. Very lovely historic building. It has an engaging exhibit depicting the seafaring heritage of Kotor. And then at the tour's end, you've got time. You don't have to rush right back to the ship. You can really take in the city as a local at your leisure, stop at a cafe, get some coffee, and walk back after doing, of course, some more shopping in the old town. Day 6, Corfu, Greece. We spend the entire day on the romantic island of Corfu. We're entering those Greek isles here. Charming towns, pristine white beaches. Our included tour takes us on a drive where we'll make a photo stop to view Tiny Mouse Island and the local monastery. We'll follow the coastline through the bay. You'll reach the UNESCO site of the old town. We'll see that fabled esplanade, one of Europe's largest public squares, and the Liston Promenade, once exclusively reserved for the local aristocracy. The optional tour here is a visit to the monastery as well as the included tour of Corfu. Again, you can see that activity level that I mentioned, moderate. It's a 4-hour tour. You've got some shopping, sightseeing. You'll hit all of Corfu's natural, historic, and spiritual wonders kind of on one comprehensive tour. Day 7, Olympia, Greece. Very quaint little Greek town, small port of call, all kind of huddled around a pretty little harbor. It's dotted with little fishing boats, which you can kind of see here in the picture. During your visit, we'll visit the fertile valley. It's the legendary city of Olympia, the classical birthplace of the modern day Olympic Games on the slopes of Mount Kronos. We'll walk among the ancient city's ancient ruins with an expert guide and historian. You'll see those remains of temples, the wrestling school, the gymnasium, and you can gain insight into the very first Olympic Games at the fascinating museum here in Olympia. And day 8. Now, this is not that iconic picture. This is really that picture postcard of Greece. It's what you see on all of the advertisements. We're in Santorini. Beautiful full day here. Spectacular looming cliffs. Those whitewashed buildings. Once we're anchored here, we embark a local boat for the island's main port of Athens. The included tour is summits and countryside. The included excursion is a drive with a local guide to the top of the mountain where you can take in the views of the island, the Aegean Sea, the summit's monastery. En route to the cliff top, you can take in the beauty and the charm of the countryside, the traditional villages, and you've got free time in the capital of Thera. Alternatively, there's some really interesting optional excursions here in Santorini. You can visit the hot thermal springs, a remarkable swim there, or you can choose to visit a Greek vineyard for a tour and tasting. So many options. There's also an optional Santorini home visit. Now, I've done this with Viking many times. I think a home visit is a remarkable way to really experience the local world. I recommend doing one. We try to do as many of these as possible. This included tour will hit all of those breathtaking highlights of the island that I mentioned, but then you're also invited into a traditional island home to meet locals who will share what this island life is really like. Then after your visit, you've got time to explore the island capital. You can linger again before you tender back to the pier by cable car, and you can actually use the ticket that we provide. So it's a beautiful way to really kind of go a little bit deeper into the destination with a home visit. I took a home visit a couple of years ago on an ocean itinerary that I took, and I can still remember the ladies' names that I met. That's how impactful it was for me. So I really do recommend it if it's of interest to you. And then day 9 and day 10, our last 2 days, we're spending in Athens. You've got the opportunity to journey into ancient Athens. The included tour is a panoramic drive. We're not going to make you walk all through Athens. We do have a motor coach that will take you around and show you all of the highlights. We'll pass the promenade. As you enter the city's heart, you'll see the Parliament, Constitution Square, the stadium, the Temple of Zeus, and the iconic Acropolis. Now, you can explore the bustling Plaza district at the base of the Acropolis, or as an option, if you're a little bit more active, I would say this would probably be a bit more demanding. You can explore the interior of this UNESCO site. You can climb the 80 steps to the entrance and glimpse an unforgettable view of the Parthenon at its peak. Or if you're really adventurous, we have a demanding optional excursion, which is Athens by electric bike. This is a wonderful way to explore. I've done some of our bike tours. I've not done any of our e-bikes or our electric bikes, but this lets you really pedal past the highlights, but it's assisted. So when you go up the hills, that electric bike kind of kicks into gear. You've got some time to really get acquainted with the bike. We're not just going to throw you on there. You can get familiarized, a little short safety briefing, and then we head out along the wide promenade that rings the storied Acropolis. And it's a truly bike-friendly route that lets you stop and do some sightseeing as you ride. We'll hit all of the sites. And then if you want to, you can return back to the ship, or you can remain in the plaza and spend some time independently, just kind of exploring the shop-lined cobblestone streets. So again, you've got the ability. What I love about these excursions is they'll give you a wonderful overview. They're going to show you all of the sites, but then you got some time to really explore and enjoy on your own as well. And day 10 will awaken Athens, where you're going to disembark from the ship. And here you have some choices to make. If you book your flights through your advisor and Viking, your transfers are always included. So you can take advantage of our contracted rates that we have with every major airline carrier. We'll have a representative that picks you up at the ship, takes you to the airport. We do the same thing on the front end. We can reach you at the airport, take you to the ship. I think it's well worth really investigating our inclusive air because there are definite advantages. Or as I mentioned, we offer pre and post packages. So you can come in a couple of days early, stay a couple of days later. We always choose a first-class hotel that's right in the heart of the city. Beyond any of the staff at the hotel, we provide a Viking concierge. So we still maintain that level of service and contact throughout your trip, even when it's being extended. Breakfast provided at each of the hotels. We also take care of those transfers. So on the back end, we would pick you up at the ship, take you to the hotel. You'll spend a couple of nights at the hotel right in the heart of the city, and then we transfer you to the airport. So it's really a seamless process. We also have some beautiful extensions in Lake Como, that northern Italy area, very, very popular and unbelievably picturesque. For more information on any of these, please do reach out to your advisor. I promise they can go over all of the availability and pricing for you. The difference with Viking is we focus on the destination, history, culture, arts, music, and of course the food of everywhere that we're traveling. We're the thinking person's cruise. We really provide you with materials, reading lists, videographies of each of the different destinations prior to your journey. We want you to connect with those that you're traveling with. We do not build large ships. We're small ship experts. They're state-of-the-art vessels. Our fleet of 7 ocean ships are all identical. They're sister vessels. So no matter where you're sailing throughout the world, you're going to have the same phenomenal experience, and you're booking into the itinerary. You're not booking into the ship. Small vessels, 930 guests total. It's an all-veranda fleet. So every single stateroom on board has its own private balcony where you're able to step out and sit down. Because of the size of these intimate ships, we're able to berth very prime central locations, typically steps away from everything that you might want to see or do. If you've sailed with us on Viking rivers, when you step on board, Viking Oceans is going to feel very familiar. It's that serene Scandinavian style. What that means, it's light, bright spaces, floor-to-ceiling glass windows. It's about bringing that outdoors in. We literally bring the timbers on board. If you're looking for formal dining, butlers, white gloves, or brass, I can tell you right now, we're not going to be the right line for you. Relaxation is integral. We understand you're on vacation. At no point do you ever have to get dressed up or gussied up for a meal. It is a much more relaxed way of traveling. Food is a biggie. On any cruise, we do some destination-focused dining. The chefs go out to the local markets and bring the food back. You're getting a taste and a flavor of the region that you're sailing through with fresh regional cuisine, authentic dishes of each of these areas. As far as dining options, there's 8 different dining options on board. I think the big takeaway is there's no additional fee or charge for any of those. That includes specialty dining. We do not upcharge. The big thing in the industry, we simply just require a reservation, and you've got 24-hour room service anytime if you just want to relax. Here are the beautiful vessels, 930 guests, 465 all veranda staterooms. look, the feel is Viking through and through. We have a resident historian on each ship who will give lectures about each of the ports of call, 3 swimming pools, great little nightclub called Torshaven. We do a high tea every day. It's a wonderful experience, full productions in the evening in our theater, as well as 2 cinemas on board. You can see the look and feel is Viking again. We have a string quartet that plays here in the Grand Atrium in the afternoons and evenings. You can grab a glass of wine or a cocktail and sit in the living room, which wraps around the atrium. I feel like I'm just sitting kind of right in somebody's home. The Explorer's Lounge is one of my favorite places on board. It's all the way forward near the bow of the ship. You have these panoramic floor-to-ceiling glass windows, one of the best bars here, and you get a beautiful bird's eye view on the upper deck of the Explorer's Lounge, looking all the way forward. Here's where I stop and I listen to the historian as we kind of pull into and out of port. The Winter Garden, we won an Architectural Digest Award for this space. It's made to feel like you're sitting underneath the tree of life. And here's where we do a proper high tea every afternoon, clotted cream scones, the 3-tier display. We even have a tea sommelier on board who curates all of the teas that are served. The main pool, it's the first of our 3 pools. We're in the Mediterranean. We're gonna have some beautiful weather, so we can pull back that solarium and get some sun, or in the evening, as you see here, we do movies under the stars at night. Our second pool was an industry first. It's an infinity pool at sea. It's located aft at the rear of the vessel, and it literally feels like you're going to swim off the edge right into the Mediterranean. My favorite pool is the thermal pool here in the spa. You can see that beautiful fire effect on the end. A little bit more forward here, closer to us, you can see the corner of the hot tub. Every detail, and that is what sets Viking apart, is the attention to detail. Nothing is overlooked. Your room key locks or unlocks a locker, and inside everything's waiting for you. There's a towel, a robe, shower shoes, a place to put your jewelry. They thought through it all. Straight ahead, you'll find a dry sauna in true Scandinavian style. Even though we're in the Mediterranean, up those stairs in the corner is a cold plunge. So you go from the hot into the cold, or you can try out the snow grotto, where it literally snows on board every single day, no matter where we are in the world. You pick up the snow, you use it to exfoliate, and then I get right back in the hot tub or the sauna. It'll wake you up. The restaurant, same look and feel as our river ships. Table for 2, table for 10 can all be accommodated. No set dining time. We don't have early seating or late seating. And as always, no formal dining. It'll be very well accommodated. Manfredi's is my favorite dining option. This is the first of our specialty dining, upscale Italian, wonderful appetizers, one of the best steaks I've had. It has a beautiful open kitchen concept. Once you're on board, there's this little private dining room, which is a secret to many people, located within the restaurant. If you're traveling with friends or a little group, you can reserve this private dining room once on board. The chef's table is our second specialty dining that just requires the reservation, prefix menu, multi-course, paired with different wines. Mamsen's sweet spot on board. It's a true Norwegian deli. It's named after our chairman and founder, Torstein Hagen's mother. You're dining on replications of Grandma's china, and you're having all of Grandma's recipes. So really kind of a little sentimental spot. Aquavit Terrace. This is that signature component of every Viking vessel. We have the most alfresco dining on any ocean ship. So you have that open outdoor alfresco style dining, which is wonderful. This is where our World Cafe is that serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Staterooms. Here's where the details really shine. You have 5 different categories of staterooms that you're able to choose from. Now, here is something that does differ with Viking Ocean. The way we book our shore excursions and the way we book specialty dining is based upon the cabin category. So the higher category you book into, the sooner you're able to book your shore excursions, and the more specialty dining, and sooner you're able to book those. So there are definitely advantages. Our standard veranda is the most economical stateroom. This is the last stateroom to book shore excursions. If you book into a standard veranda, you must wait until you're on board to book any specialty dining. You'll be able to do so, you simply cannot do it ahead of time. Every single stateroom has a refrigerator. With the standard veranda, it is only stocked one time with soft drinks and snacks. It is not replenished throughout your journey. And something to note is our standard veranda does not have a coffee maker in the room. At a minimum, I would start at a deluxe veranda. It's the same stateroom as far as size, but those amenities are increased. You're able to book your shore excursion sooner. You're able to make one reservation at each of the specialty dining prior to boarding. The refrigerator is stocked daily with soft drinks and snacks at no additional charge. And the biggie for me is you now have a coffee maker in the room. You'll find it in the deluxe veranda and all categories higher. Beautiful, well-appointed staterooms. You have a king bed. This bed is able to be separated into 2 twin beds if you wish. 2 club chairs. You can see that beautiful private balcony. There are drawers to fully unpack. Again, a refrigerator and safe in each of the rooms. A full closet to hang items. Your luggage slides right underneath the bed. Bathrooms, unbelievable detail, beautiful glass French doors that lead into the shower. Every category stateroom has heated bathroom floors. We take it a step further, we even heat the mirror in the bathroom. So when the shower steams up, the mirror never fogs up. And we know our demographic, all the amenities, they're larger, easy to open, color-coded, in large font. So if you don't have your readers on, you still know if you're putting body wash or shampoo or conditioner on. Next category, our third category, penthouse veranda. First time you see that increase in square footage, you're able to do everything sooner as far as shore excursions and specialty dining. The refrigerator in the stateroom is now stocked daily, not only with soft drinks and snacks, but also alcoholic beverages. Shoe shine pressing service included, as well as a bottle of champagne. And you have a couch, club chair, and a more expansive outdoor veranda. My favorite category is a penthouse junior suite. This is the first time I feel that difference in the square footage. You're able to do everything sooner. You have all the advantages of the suite level without that price tag. So laundry, dry cleaning, shoe shine, and pressing services included. But look at the difference. You've got a bedroom, you have that separate living room, and really to save any marriage, the first category with dual vanity in the bathroom. And finally, our Explorer Suites. These are our largest staterooms. They vary in square footage based upon the location on board. You really have all the advantages that the ship has to offer. Beautiful indoor seating areas, very expansive outdoor private verandas. And our Explorer Suites are the first category to have a true separate soaking tub from the shower. And I fudged just slightly. There is one owner suite on board at nearly 1,450 square feet. This is towards private quarters. If he is not on board, we can offer this to guests, and you really do have your own private apartment on board, deck number 7, and that includes your own private ocean view sauna. And again, with Viking, everything's based on double occupancy. I'm never able to add 3 to a stateroom. With Viking, we mentioned you always get that one shore excursion at each port of call. It's kind of important what is included here and what is not. All of the meals are provided multiple dining options. With the meals, it's free-flowing beer, wine, and soft drinks. You will have to tell the staff to continue, to either continue or to stop pouring, because they will continue to fill your glass. At any point, you can get a specialty coffee or tea. Bottled water is provided in your stateroom in a glass refillable container. We will also hand you a bottled water when you disembark the vessel for the day, so you have it when you're out and about. Wi-Fi is fleet-wide. If you want to stay connected, you can. There's no daily fee or charge. If you book that pre or post extension, it's always a first-class hotel right in the heart of the city. In-room infotainment, movies on demand, cable television, all provided, no additional fees or charges. And here's what's really important. The price that you pay through your advisor and Viking covers all of the port fees. The taxes and the charges are included in the price. We don't have an introductory price and then tack all of this on at the end. Now, what's not included, no surprises, would be optional excursions. If you choose anything above and beyond the included, that would be additional, and gratuities. The currency on board our ocean fleet is the US dollar. If you wish, you can prepay your gratuities, you can tack them onto the bill at the end, you can pay them in cash. Very flexible, just not included in that overall value. And a little insider tip with Viking, there's never a corkage fee. So when we're talking about alcohol, it's free-flowing beer, wine, soft drinks with the meals. Outside of mealtime, there would be a charge. But if you pick up something local, we are going to Italy here, beer, wines, spirits, you can bring it back on board. You don't have to sneak it on. It's completely above board. Take it to any of the bars. They'll open it for you. Again, every stateroom has a refrigerator. We do also offer a silver spirits beverage package. I find great value in it. I find it reasonable. It typically runs about $20 per person per day. That will provide you with really the entire wine list at your disposal, as well as an open bar. So if you want a cocktail or a nightcap, you can do so. So many different options. Again, reach out to your advisor for more details on these, but based on your preferences, you certainly have options to choose from. Here's my favorite slide. I always have to put this in. Here's what we don't do. We do not have casinos. Our focus is history, culture, arts, music. We do not want you feeling captive on board. No children, 18 is that minimum age. No umbrella drinks. We'll make you a beautiful cocktail. It's never going to have that little foo-foo umbrella in it. No photography. This is huge. All those little gimmicky upcharge techniques that we're so used to on ocean sailing, Viking simply doesn't do. Nobody is interrupting your dinner to take your picture and try to sell it to you later. We all have cameras on our phones. It's really not necessary. Art auctions. Beautiful curated art on board each of the vessels. At no point are we ever trying to sell that to you. No charge for beer or wine with the meals, no charge for alternative or specialty dining, no charge for Wi-Fi, no charge for laundry, 10 days. And if you do a pre or post, it's going to be even longer than that. We have self-service laundry rooms on every residential deck. You can throw a load in. We don't charge for the soap. The spa is my favorite spot on board. You can go and use that facility without a charge. And at no point is anyone ever pressuring you to book a facial or a massage or a treatment or a wrap. It is no sales pressure at all. No interior rooms, all veranda vessel, no smoking, no waiting in lines with only 930 passengers. You not even know a fraction of that amount of people are on board. No formal nights, butlers, or white gloves. And as always with Viking, no nickel and diming. This is the ocean world of Viking. Our 7 ships visit 6 different continents. With the introduction of Viking Expedition, we'll be able to visit all 7 starting in 2022. This is one of a multitude of different itineraries that we offer throughout the Mediterranean and the Adriatic, as well as Scandinavia and Northern Europe. A little bit closer to home, the Americas and the Caribbean, Asia, Australia, and then we have some grand voyages that combine our ocean and our river sailings. For more information on any of these, if you want to look at pricing, availability, and details, reach out to that advisor who referred you. I promise you're in great hands. They truly are experts at the Viking product. Thank you for joining today. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay home for now.
Okay, Matthew. So our first question today is, do we offer quiet season Mediterranean sailings on this particular itinerary?
We do, absolutely. I'm not certain if we do on this specific itinerary, but we do have itineraries specifically for quiet season on the Med. So I would reach out to your advisor for that. It may not hit every single one of these ports of call, but it definitely will go to some of the highlights throughout the Med.
Great. And what would be some of the advantages of quiet season Mediterranean?
I think less crowds is a biggie for me. And when I mentioned like Venice, how much I absolutely loved it and it lived up to the postcard, I visited in November. So I think that probably was a biggie for me, is that time of year. You've got less people going to these destinations. I think the climate is very mild. I'm here in Southern California. It's very comparable to that type of a Southern California climate. And it's just it's a wonderful, I think the Med's great any time of year, to be honest. But the prices are typically lower in the off season, as are the crowds.
Great. Well, it doesn't look like we have any other questions. So thank you so much for your presentation, Matthew. And I just want to thank all of our travel advisors and their clients for joining us today. If you have any questions on Empires of the Mediterranean or any of Viking's itineraries, be sure to reach out to that advisor. As a reminder, we do these traveling virtually with Viking events Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern, and 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern. So if you're interested in attending more, reach out to that advisor. Thanks again for traveling virtually with Viking, and we'll see you next time.